All right, fourth grade, let's go ahead and look at our social studies. So we are on page 112, American Indians of the Coastal Plains. Our Unlock the Big Question, I will know what life was like in East Texas for American Indians long ago. We've got four vocab terms for this lesson: Confederacy, reservation, nomad, and dugout canoe. All right, so last week we kind of read about some of the early Americans. We kind of got a little refresher course on them actually, since we had already talked about them. And so now we're going to be talking about one specific area of Texas. Okay, the next few chapters are going to be broken up by areas. And so we're going to be looking at the coastal plains. If you look on the map on page 112, you can actually see all of that green area is considered the coastal plains of Texas. And so we're going to be talking all about that area this week. So all of these Native American tribes live there. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's look at the picture at the top of page 112. The Caddo modified their environment and used materials from nature to build their homes. 3,000 years ago, in the river valleys of the eastern and central parts of what is now the United States, an ancient culture built great mounds to honor their gods and the dead. Over time, these mound builders moved south. They settled in East Texas more than 1,200 years ago. Today, we call these descendants of mound builders the Caddo. The Caddo. The Caddo lived in clusters of settlements along the Red River near what is today Nacogdoches. Their community was arranged as a confederacy, or a union of people or groups who worked together for a common goal. Don't get this confederacy mixed up with the confederacy that we talked about during the Civil War, so different groups. The Caddo Confederacy protected settlements from attack. They also organized food for the whole community. The Caddo were farmers. Each spring, they gathered to plant clearings in the woods. They sowed corn, beans, and squash until every bit of farmland was planted. Groups of men traveled to the plains each year to hunt buffaloes for meat and hides. Caddos also fished the rivers of East Texas and gathered acorns, pecans, and walnuts from the forests. By the way, yes, you can actually eat acorns. All you have to do is make sure that you get a whole lot of acorns. You put them into a pot of water. If there are any that float, you get rid of those because those are already bad. If they don't float, if they sink to the bottom, you take them out. You take off the little caps, and you take them and put them into boiling water. You boil, 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 boil. Eventually, the water will turn kind of cloudy, so you dump out that water. You put in some new water. You boil, 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 boil until the water isn't cloudy anymore. If it keeps turning cloudy, you keep getting rid of the water and you keep adding fresh water until eventually the water will just be clear. The acorns will be good to go. And then from there, you can crush them up and turn them into flour. You can eat them straight. You can do all kinds of different stuff with them. So if you try to eat acorns just straight off the tree, though, it's going to make you sick. So don't do that. The Caddo modified their environment and used natural resources to make shelter. The houses in Caddo settlements were shaped like cones. The houses, framed with wood, each house was covered in mats made of dried grasses. Beds and chairs inside made them comfortable places. Several families might live together in the same large house. If you look back at the picture on 112, those are examples of the Caddo their houses. Today, most Caddo people live in Oklahoma near the town of Beecher. In the 1850s, the United States forced the Caddo to leave East Texas and move to Oklahoma to a reservation. A reservation is land set aside as a place for American Indians to live. Nearly 5,000 Caddo, direct descendants of the early mound builders, live in the United States today. From the Caddo word for friend comes the name of our state, Texas. The Karankawa. Along the coast of the Gulf of Mexico, south of the Caddo, lived the Karankawa. Although they sometimes dwelled in villages, the Karankawa did not have permanent homes. They were nomads. A nomad is someone who travels from place to place at different seasons. In the summer, small bands of family groups roamed inland, hunting deer, small animals, and birds. They also gathered wild plants. They took their houses, made of woven grasses and animal skins, with them. The Karankawa governed themselves. Each band had its own leader. In winter, the bands gathered into larger villages along the shore and on islands off the coast. Hundreds of people lived together in wood frame houses. Each village had its own chief. A chief of a tribe is similar to like a president or a mayor. The Karankawa traveled the waters of the coast in dugout canoes, or boats made by hollowing out long logs. Whole families might travel in a single canoe with their belongings. They fished from the canoes, shooting fish with bows and arrows. They also caught shellfish to eat, stuff like clams, crawfish, that kind of thing. Actually, no, not crawfish. Clams, mussels, anything with a shell. Because they lived on the coast of Texas, the Karankawas were among the first American Indians to meet Europeans as they began to arrive. The Europeans fought the Karankawa for their land. By the mid 1800s, the Karankawa had died out from European diseases and from many battles with European groups. Other American Indians of the coastal plains. Many other American Indians lived in East Texas before Europeans came. For a few thousand years, a people called Attakapas roamed the coasts and bayous near modern-day Houston and east into Louisiana. To meet their needs and wants, they were hunter-gatherers who caught game, that's any kind of animal basically, fished, and gathered plants. They ate alligator meat and used alligator oil as an insect repellent. When Europeans came, the Attakapas were exposed to new diseases. Their bodies had not built up any natural defenses, nor did they have medicine to fight them. Therefore, the Attakapas Indians all died. Compared to the Attakapas, the Coahuiltecan lived in southern Texas. Hundreds of small bands of these nomadic hunter-gatherers traveled the area. Today, their descendants live throughout South Texas. The Wichita had a different way of life. They began arriving in Texas in the 1700s. They called lands near the Red River their home. In winter, they hunted as nomads. The rest of the year, they farmed in villages. Today, the Wichita live near Anadarko, Oklahoma, on a reservation. Another group, the Ponkawa, probably migrated to central and eastern Texas during the 1600s. Nomadic hunters, they relied on the buffalo for meat and materials. They lived in small teepees. The Tonkawa were moved to Oklahoma in the 1800s. Very few live on the reservation today. American Indians in East Texas today. As Europeans moved deep into Alabama in the 1700s, the peoples known as the Alabama and Coushatta began moving to Texas. They were farmers and hunters. In Texas, they joined together, settling in the southeast. Today, the Alabama Coushatta Reservation is the oldest in Texas and the only one in East Texas. Though small in number, they proudly honor their culture. Cherokee Indians first arrived in East Texas in the late 1700s. They were an agricultural people, living in towns and farming fields. They also hunted game. Many Cherokees still live in Texas today. More than 300,000 Cherokee live throughout the United States. Many thousands of American Indians live and work in East Texas today. There are farmers, ranchers, teachers, business people, and government officials. However, they still seek to preserve and continue their traditional culture. That's all for this week, so y'all have a good week.